It's the morning briefing. This is for Thursday, the 12th of January. I'm James Spann. We have an active weather day coming up for Alabama today. It will be windy. We'll have the chance of strong, maybe severe storms. And we turn much colder tomorrow, and some of you might see a snowflake or two if you're over the northern part of the state. So let's go right to the upper air look early this morning. A pretty impressive shortwave trough coming through the nation's midsection. And that will provide the dynamic support for strong, maybe severe storms today. Now, this is the radar composite this morning about 5 o'clock, and you can see storms in progress over parts of West Tennessee, Mississippi, and Louisiana. And that will be evolving into a line today, then gradually passing through Alabama during the daytime hours. Very mild this morning. We've got temperatures mostly in the mid-60s across the state, and that's about 10 degrees warmer than the average high for this day. Now, away from storms, this will be a very windy day. All 67 Alabama counties and a wind advisory today. Gradient winds, not related to storms, could possibly gust as high as 40 miles per hour during the day today. So just be aware of that. That in itself might bring some widely scattered power outages. And around the nation, we've also got wind advisories for parts of Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas, and a few scattered winter weather advisories up in the Northeast. So this is the severe weather outlook for today. We have a fairly large risk of severe storms defined across the southeastern states. The folks at SPC, the Storm Prediction Center, have upgraded the risk level to a level 3 out of 5 for parts of central and east Alabama. This would include Birmingham, Clanton, Montgomery, and then points over toward the Georgia state line. The areas in orange on that map. For most of the rest of the state, there is a level 2 out of 5 slight risk, and then Mobile and Baldwin counties and a level 1 out of 5 marginal risk of severe storms. This is the probabilistic outlook for tornadoes today. And again, the numbers are not especially high. Now, this is the chance of a tornado within 25 miles of any given point. And you can see that brown area, that is a 5 to 9% chance area. And then for the rest of the state, the chance of a tornado is 2 to 4%, and really no chance near the Gulf Coast, as the dynamic support will stay north of there. And there could be a few isolated, brief tornadoes today, but the bigger issue most likely will be strong straight-line wind. This is the probabilistic outlook for severe wind criteria. And remember, by definition, that's 58 miles per hour or higher. And in that red area there, that's where we have the enhanced risk. The chance of damaging wind within 25 miles of a given point is 30 to 44%. And again, that would include places like Birmingham, Montgomery, Clanton, Talladega, Sylacauga, Ashland, Opelika, Anniston, Gadsden. And that will be the greater concern. And we'll talk much more about the timing and the specifics on the threat as we go. And this is the outlook for day 2 tomorrow. Friday, no severe weather expected across the country, and no severe storms expected on Saturday. So this is the rain for the next 7 days. And again, some really big numbers for parts of the Pacific coast. In Alabama, the amounts generally between 1 and 2 inches for the northern half of the state, under 1 inch for South Alabama. And this is the rain valid through Thursday morning of next week. So model fans, here we go, the GFS. This is the 06C run valid today at 4, and there's your strong shortwave trough coming through. The surface low is pretty far northeast of here. And again, for a classic tornado day, you'd rather see that surface low over Missouri or Arkansas. The surface low should be east of Columbus, Ohio this afternoon with a trailing front. So let's go to high-resolution modeling. This is noon today, 12 noon. And this will be primarily a linear event, a line of storms. And at noon, that line should run from near Fort Payne to Birmingham down to about Moundville and York in Sumter County. So at noon, the risk of severe weather is already over for northwest Alabama. And within that line, there could be some strong straight-line winds, possibly a brief isolated tornado. This is the instability, and again, those numbers are not especially overwhelming, but they're sufficient, certainly, for a few strong to severe storms. This is the SRH, the storm relative helicity, veering of the wind with altitude in relation to storm motion. Not overwhelming, but again, sufficient for maybe a couple of rotating updrafts. And the STP values, the significant tornado parameters, not especially high, but we'll have to, again, stay focused and watch the storms carefully. And if we do have a tornado today, it's going to be very hard to warn for them. They're going to be embedded in a line. They might not last for more than a few minutes, and they're gone. So by the time the warning goes out, the damage has already been done. So again, just watch out for the weather today. Be very weather aware. And remember, away from storms, it's going to be a windy day. These are potential wind gusts at 10 meters, not right at the surface, but I do think at the surface we might see some spots where the winds could gust to 40 miles an hour. And like we talked about, that might lead to some scattered power outages between the line of storms and the gradient winds. And in terms of the timing of the storms today, the window for the stronger storms for areas over northwest Alabama this morning between 7 and 11. And then for the central part of the state, that would include Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden, Clanton, Demopolis, Montgomery, the window between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m., a midday type setup there. And then for southeast Alabama, the window this afternoon between 1 and 6 o'clock. So as always, on any day like today, we want to be sure you can get warnings. And if you watch this video, I'm pretty sure you'll get the warning. You're probably a weather dweeb or a nerd or a geek, but just let your friends know that it's going to be an active weather day. And again, I wouldn't call this a major severe weather type threat, but again, if you are the guy in the state that has the tornado, the small brief tornado, it's certainly a major day to use. So everybody needs to be weather aware. So tomorrow, the storms are gone by late afternoon. Tomorrow it's going to be pretty cold. And an upper trough, a deep cold core upper trough is going to come through. And highs will drop into the 40s for North Alabama, 50s for the southern counties of the state with a mixture of clouds and sunshine, breezy, cold, and blustery day. And there could be a few snow flurries around. In fact, this is the high-res HER model, valid tomorrow afternoon at 5. And you see those splotches of blue on that map. That would represent the chance of a few flurries and maybe even a couple of snow showers involved. But again, we'll be well above freezing, no impact, no accumulation. The better chance of getting a couple of inches of snow up in the high terrain of East Tennessee. Be a fun day to be in Gatlinburg or Pigeons Forge. So Saturday as the weekend begins, a sunny day. We will start the day below freezing in the 20s. The high Saturday, 40s in North Alabama, 50s for the southern counties of the state. And Sunday will be a sunny day. And again, Sunday we will start the day below freezing in most spots, and high Sunday ranging from the 50s in North Alabama to the 60s for the southern counties of the state. So Monday, here comes our next feature, and that will probably bring some rain in here Monday night, maybe into Tuesday morning. And not expecting any severe weather. There's no really surface-based instability involved. This is Tuesday, and the surface front's going to stall out somewhere. And that could keep the rain going into Tuesday for parts of South Alabama. And then Wednesday, here comes the next system off to the west, and this one is a bit more dynamic. And that's going to bring a lot of snow from Denver up to parts of the Dakotas. And that might bring some severe storms to parts of the southern plain states by the middle of next week. We'll see how that plays out. And this is a week from today, Thursday the 19th. That plain system kind of lifts out toward the Great Lakes and weakens, and that'll bring some showers in here by Thursday of next week. And probably not a severe look at this verifies. But the bottom line is next week looks fairly unsettled with probably several rounds of rain and maybe some thunder. Let's go out 10 days. This is Saturday the 21st. Again, troughing off to the west, and that looks relatively wet. We've seen fairly consistent signals that that day could be fairly wet if it works out. So this is rain for Birmingham coming off the European ensemble. The mean is about 3 inches between now and the 27th of January. And there's your roller coaster ride. Highs today well up in the 60s, maybe some low 70s in spots. And this is for Birmingham. Tomorrow, the NBM drops the high to 44. It'll be a pretty cold day, a big change there. And again, maybe a few flurries for the northern third of the state. Lows for the weekend below freezing, mostly 20s. For Birmingham, the NBM showing a high Saturday of 47, a high Sunday 56. But look at next week. We bounce right back to 71 by Wednesday. And this is the latest 8 to 14 day guidance in the House. This is for the 19th through the 25th of January, showing temperatures above average for the eastern half of the country, below average for many spots out west. And again, we've talked about this. We've probably got several more really good cold pops to come here. Winter's just starting. So one more time, if you're joining us live, this is the situation today. We have a chance of strong to severe storms across Alabama and much of the Deep South. The higher probabilities are in that enhanced risk over central and east Alabama, back up toward Atlanta and much of northern Georgia. The main concern, strong straight-line winds. This is the probabilistic outlook for damaging wind, and you can see the higher probabilities, which are 30 to 44%. That's the chance of damaging wind within 25 miles of a given point in that enhanced risk area. And this will be a morning event for northwest Alabama, areas north and west of Birmingham, 7 to 11 this morning. For the central part of the state, a midday event, 9 to 3. And then for southeast Alabama, 1 to 6 this afternoon. Simply be weather aware. And we'll be in the office all day monitoring things very carefully. We'll watch that stuff like a hawk, and if we need to hop on television or go live, we'll do that. So that's it for the morning edition of the Daily Weather Briefing video. If you're new here, we do these twice a day, once in the morning about 5:15, once around 2:30 in the afternoon, weekends as need be. We have notes on the blog, AlabamaWX.com. That's our hub. Don't forget a book signing in Fayette on Saturday. We're going to be there from 10 until 1 at the Only Door Cafe in downtown Fayette, 10 to 1 on Saturday. And we have a lot of fun at those things. So join us this evening if you can, ABC 3340.